Hey, buddy. So a little thought just came to me. Thought I'd share it. It's just interesting how, Christianity. I haven't seen any other piece of information that, to me, if it's followed to a T, transforms the one who's truly following it into essentially a crystallized being, or a being capable of emitting light and love for everything. Like, that is, to me, the message of Jesus. So I don't see anything else that clearly shapes the way as profoundly, if it's taken to the T, as Christianity does it, or as the feeling I get when I think of Jesus and what he's about, what that message is about. But interestingly, every single priest I've ever seen, and I've only been to church a few times, but I've spent a lot of time online, so I've seen a lot of people who are at big churches doing online things, because that's a pretty big thing now. Is these churches will share their worship online, so you're able to watch these churches do these things from online. Like John Ramirez, perfect example. Pretty well-known, famous preacher who actually started out on the dark side, I believe. If I'm not mistaken. He sorry, it's just there's a little bit of cloud. It's a very cooler day for late June, and this cloud can there's more water vapor in the air, so it makes it harder for me to breathe. That's what I'm trying to say. But let me get back to the point. John Ramirez, and how I believe he grew up learning about Satanism and actually as a satanic practitioner, and to the point to where this is actually where a story, like if you truly do have a real good divine connection, which is all about your work, your worship that you've done to the Most Highs, or to that message of Christ, Jesus, if you get to whatever level is required to develop that type of a connection, it's literally like Satan can't fuck with you, like kill you. There's certain people are taken out because they've been getting clearance to getting taken out. That's what I think has happened when some people are killed or go missing, or really bad shit happens to them that's like clearly an attack. Because some people, or it's our time to go, but I'm getting ahead of myself. My point is that, hold on. So, with divine protection, those of them that are with that connection, with that protection, if you're going to have that connection, why would a higher authority give that connection? Like, if we're going to think in terms of like doing things for a good reason, there's probably a good reason why, beyond just like that's a creature favorite that God's favored of, but there's probably a rather good reason why that particular creature is getting protection. So as I said, I've been saying, and this only happened because they brought it to my attention. Like, when I actually had spiritual deflection happen, I wasn't aware of it. That's this mysterious looking car. Hey guys, Josh and Adam actually told me that the football, they were playing football. Like, they would do this thing where they throw a football as hard as they can and at each other. It's like their way of kind of training and shit. And I was sitting at a table right in the middle of the pathway, like kind of right next to where I think Josh was standing. So he was maybe like 3 or 4 feet like adjacent to me, and him and Adam are throwing this football really hard as they can to each other, maybe 15, 20 feet away. And Adam throws it to Josh, and it goes like right to my head. And I'd like turned my head, so I wasn't even aware that the ball was coming at me. I didn't know anything had happened. So Adam was like, that was a spiritual deflection. Because I guess from what he saw, that ball should have hit me right in the fucking head. But I guess it went like around my head. And Josh was like, okay, I'm just remembering, this is what I remember him saying. He's like, okay, we get it, he's important. And I'm bringing this up just to help illustrate that I believe the reason why that happened is because not anything that's important with me, it's just what I've chosen to do for the world. That's the importance. It has nothing to do with me. It has to do with my choice to serve humanity in the best ways that it needs. Just whatever needs being done to change this evil problem, this problem I see. I see America as a giant problem. And, not just America, just the whole world. But I've grown up in America, and upon seeing it and feeling it, and I've just always had this feeling like I feel like it could be changed. Like I've always had a natural desire to want to fix problems, like to solve things. I always feel like there's always a solution. So this led me to, well, actually, I mean, I've been friends with, I'm getting ahead of myself. My breathing's a little off because of the moisture in here, so it's harder for me to think. But, this group of friends I grew up with in Phoenix, we'd always be talking about like a project, trying to help the world, save the world. There seemed to have been a general similar feeling that we needed to do something extra. Like we all felt a calling to do something extra, some type of a heroic act, work, job, movement that would move things in a good way for everything. So for over 20 years, in roundabout ways, while doing drugs and working weird jobs and having all sorts of strange relationships and fights and fucked up things and dramas and manipulations and there still has always been this sense to figure out a way to solve all this bullshit, all these problems, all this mess. But I ended up getting fucked over by a friend, and then when that happened, I found 13's channel, and then from 13's channel, I found the information I needed to heal myself, at least, because I'd lost hope, man. Like when my former friend did what he did, betrayed me and stole from me, I lost hope. Like I didn't want to do a fucking thing. I could barely speak and say hi to anybody. I literally was walking like a zombie. I couldn't believe he did that. I was like, what the fuck? Like, I brought this dude up here to this state, get him a place, really just because I thought he needed a place. I didn't even need it. My parents had a home that was right next to the place I was working at. So I go out of my way to pay for a place to live that's out of my way, really just for friends. And I already had one friend living there, so I knew is a recovering alcoholic. I don't know if he was drinking at the time or not, but he had a roommate leave, so I was like, it's a good opportunity and the roommate they had issues, so I thought that I could help that friend that was already here in Oregon by moving myself and Sean and another former friend there, and it would also help my friend that's in Phoenix because he is somebody I was worried about, and it was somebody whom I thought needed a place to stay. So my intentions behind getting the place for them was for them, mainly. Like it wasn't. I was better off I had my own room. I had a big ass giant house with my family. I had a job right next to the house. Like there was no need for me to relocate. I did that for them. So that happens, and then I'm pretty much working the whole time he's up here, even going through addiction and withdrawals and all this shit. He hardly works at all, and I'm only just bringing this up to tell you from my perspective why this bothers me so much is because he looks at me like he blames me for things not working out at all, and I've never heard him take hardly any accountability, except for when he cried that one time years ago, which was a good sign. But since then, he hasn't shown much, if any, signs. In fact, he showed opposite signs that he's not doing well, and that he's still doing things to hurt me. After I do all this shit to help him, and he ends up abandoning me and stealing from me. And the whole time I was sitting there working, and he wasn't. He even had a girlfriend while he was up here, and he lived at her house, like rent-free. And then he tried to blame getting kicked out of her house on me because I didn't do enough to help him out with the house that he was living at that was his girlfriend's house. I mean, this is loco shit. And I actually ended up transporting a whole, those fucking storage things that you can rent to fill up if you're trying to, clean out your house of garbage. I used a pickup truck that I had at that time to deliver a full load of shit from their house, the girlfriend's house that my friend at the time was staying at rent-free. I already had a job. This was something I was doing on my free time, not being paid, just the kindness of my heart while he was staying there. I wasn't staying there, okay? I was staying at my parents' house at this time. This is after the house we had for 6 months that lease went up, and he went and lived with his girlfriend, and I went to live with my folks, back to my folks' house. So I did not have any, I was not staying there. There's no reason why I had to be doing work to help him. That was all me just being a friend and helping a friend out. And then he blamed him getting kicked out on me because I didn't do enough to help him do what he had to do to stay at his house. He actually told that to me. So it's like, this whole time I'm having these relationships and this for years. I mean, this dude I've known since we grew up, and we went to the same babysitter as kids. Like, we weren't friends at that time, but I've known him since we were little kids, dude. And then as we got teenagers, he lived right down the street from me, so we'd hang out all the time. Like, me walking to his house, it was like a daily thing almost. All the time. Anyways, dude, I don't want to get into it because it hurts, man, because we really had a lot of good times. Like, honestly, good times that friends have. Like, he felt like a true friend. And when a true friend betrays you and leaves you, knowing that you're in a shitty position after you helped him out, is something I would never wish on anybody. Sorry, man, I totally got off track with this, but anyway, it leads me to, so that happened. I found 13's channel. After getting my health back to in a better place, I decided to go on a spiritual mission. Because I've just had, even with 13, I got kicked out of 13's channel because I didn't cover my head up, and I was also, I don't want to say aggressive, but I was assertive and wanting to do shit. I was like, why don't we try to develop a group in each state or city to help pick up garbage? Just like anything to help bring us together in a productive way. That's just what I wanted. I did the same thing with Nature Boy. I tried to help him develop ideas to give his team or squad something to work on, because I had a lot of props. I mean, and they cultivated all this themselves, so it's kind of strange for me doing this, but from my perspective, if you're going to follow this way, why not take it to the full T and develop spiritual work practices and jobs that we can do to combat this evil in an actual physical way, rather than just continuing to live off of these societies knowing that they're not good for us, knowing that they're putting curses on us. So, but Nature Boy wasn't really trying to hear it. 13 wasn't trying to hear it. So then Zen popped along. Zen was in New Orleans. He was open. I liked his style. He used to go and do lives, just walking in the city, engaging with people, talking to people. He seemed like the type of dude that would be open enough to talk with me and shit. And so I actually go to New Orleans. We didn't really have a very good relationship, but he knew of me online. I think he even knew I was coming. I think I even sent him $20 before I came, but we had no official setup or anything like that. Nothing official. So I get to New Orleans. First couple days, no big deal. And then Zen ends up leaving to go out of New Orleans for a few days. Really interesting timing. I'm like, whatever, dude. It kind of bummed me out because it kind of seems like you just ditched me. But whatever. I end up meeting Josh in New Orleans around that time of Zen ditching me and me being there. I find out Josh is working on a plan to save the world. It has to do with hemp and all these things. And it's like, I'm talking to this dude. He tells me within the first time meeting him that he's the Heavenly Father and that he's God and all this and that. And he takes me in under his wing. So for the time being, I'm just going along with this. Okay, I haven't fully made up my mind or not, but I'm going along with it. I'm cooperating. Anyways, that leads me to the situation in New Orleans with them throwing the footballs and the spiritual deflection from him and Adam throwing the football to each other. And it's my opinion and my belief that because I'm working on something my intent was to help save the world, and to go there and try to converse with somebody who is a well-known spiritual figure in New Orleans, that intention has a spiritual protection. And it's in my opinion that is one of the main reasons why when they threw that football, it went around my head instead of hitting me in the head. Because if that would have happened, I have a feeling it would have set off events that would have pushed my trajectory into a place that the Most High didn't want to go. Like, they're able to calculate things in such a way to where they know when they need to step in and do something. And they felt they needed to step in and do something. And if a force is going to do that, in my opinion, I think there's a reason. So, this goes back to the significance of meaning and why we do things. And how, when we do things from the most meaningful place, we're connecting with the most meaningful power on this that we're aware of. And from that, it's possibly conceived that that's where our so-called superpowers and protections and things of a supernatural nature on the good side, meaningful side, can come from. So anyways, all right, peace.